Hey, what's up guys? Tim here. Got another tutorial for you today. We're doing a Solomon stitch bracelet, or a stitched Solomon bracelet, but this is done with some microcord lacing and stitching, and this is done in the theme of Spider-Man. So yeah, I really like this one. I really love themed bracelets, as you can tell by my channel. And just to give you guys a quick close-up look. So we've got a red core in the center with the black lacing or stitching over top of it to kind of simulate that web design that Spider-Man has on his costume. I've got blue on the kind of accent color, and I've also done some additional white stitching because Spider-Man does have that kind of white in his eyes, and I think that kind of tends to show through when you look at his color scheme. So here it is. We're doing this with the buckles. This one, it's not too easy. I guess it's a little bit more difficult, just or time consuming because of all the stitching, but I think the end result is worth it. And yeah, that's about it. So let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so I got all my paracord ready to go. I've got my buckle core set up with the double cow's hitch on each side for my buckle core. If you don't know how to do this, I will have the tutorial annotated in this video. As for my main weaving cords, I've got 3 feet of each of the red and the kind of I think this is like navy blue, and I've got about another 3 feet or so of white microcord. Okay, so the base of this bracelet is a Solomon stitch, and but we're just adding some lacing to it. So what we're going to do first is set up our microcord laced in with our bracelet. So I'm going to start with my main weaving cords. Okay, I've got my buckle core on top of those two. Now we want red going down our core, so we're going to start with the red on top, okay? And because we want the blue accent on the side. So at this point, I think most of you know how to do the Solomon stitch. We'll just go through the first knot together, just for those who aren't familiar. So red across the center, blue over top of the red, and then we're going to pull the blue through to the other side, through this loop here. Okay, like that. Now, from here, before we cinch everything down, what I want to do is incorporate my white microcord. So you see this little space I've created here? Right there? I'm going to feed my microcord through there. So I'm going to take one end, just put it through like that. I'm going to pull a decent amount through just so I don't lose it. Like that. You can kind of tighten it up slightly. I'm going to move this up here. I'm going to loosen it to get it past that knot. Okay. So I'm going to pull a decent amount just out here. Like this. You can probably secure, we'll secure this later. We'll leave a decent amount just out here. We'll secure it later. You can pull that knot tight. So essentially you want the white microcord to follow the blue, like that. Okay, so I'm going to pull this behind here. Okay, so that's the start of it. Now we're going to just start the next stitch. So again, remember red over the core. And then now I'm just going to weave them together, the blue and the white, just to make it easier. So blue and white on top of that. And put that behind and through. So you may have to take your time with this. It is a little finicky when you're adding a lacing to it. And then we're going to pull this shut. Push that up there. And pull it tight. So you see you want the white to always be matching on that side. So, okay, we're going to pull that tight like this. Right, I'm going to push everything up. Now we're just going to continue. I think the easiest way to do it is just to kind of keep, you're going to have to play with the white to make sure that it stays in place. So again, I'm going to do this one more time to show you. This. There probably is a way to lace the microcord after if you want, but I'm just going to do it all together. So now you can see sometimes the white doesn't always cooperate with you. You just kind of have to, again, just kind of manipulate it so it stays where you want it to stay. Okay. Right, so as you can see, I'm just going to continue weaving down this way. If it's not cooperating with you, just loosen your previous knots and just kind of pull the cord to the front. I think this cord essentially needs to go like under, like that. That way you can get it to stay on the outside. Okay. So as you can see, I've got the white going down the sides. I'm just going to continue weaving now. Okay. So again, red across the center. Pull these through like that. Okay. See, it's starting to look, see, that's essentially what you want. I may have to go back and fix these to make them look a little better, but you want the white fully lined up like that. Okay, it might take a few tries for you to get it just right, but that's what we're aiming for, like that. Okay, so I'm going to continue weaving down the core. I'm going to ensure that my white microcord is properly laced, matching the blue, and then we'll show you what the next step is after that. And just to quickly show you again what our result should look like, as you can see, I've got my weave down. It's going really well because the white stitching is fully lined up with the blue. And I think just a quick tip I've noticed is that you want to keep the white next to the blue, just like this. That way when you do your stitch, you see it's just going to fall on the inside like that. And then pull that through and close up your knot. That, and then we have the look that we want. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going down this way, and then we'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I'm just about done weaving, moving all the way down my core, and I just have a little bit of excess, but I will annotate my exact measurements and all that in the video. Now, we're not going to snip and singe all the excess just yet. If you have a lot of excess, I only have maybe half a foot or so, I'm going to just snip off maybe half of it just so it's easier to work with. If you don't have any real excess, that's great. Just leave it as the way it is, because we're going to integrate our black microcord now, and if we snip and singe the cord here, I'm not sure if we'll have to feed black microcord through, like, say, these knots, but if we snip and singe right now, it'll be a lot harder. So just leave the excess where it is, and also the excess up here, just leave that as it is too. And then I'm going to get my fid set up with my black microcord, and we'll do the rest of the lacing. Alright, so I got my microcord set up on my fid, and if you don't know how to do this, I just did a tutorial on how to attach the microcord to the fid like this, so you can consult that tutorial. Now obviously, I think in this case a lacing needle would do a lot better because it's a lot thinner, or if you had a much thinner fid, but this is the only fid I have at the moment, so I'm going to be using this one. So now that we've got our microcord set up, I have about 5.5, maybe about 6 feet of the black microcord. We're going to start off on this side of the bracelet. So remember how I said not to melt this or snip that off yet? We're going to start on this end here, this first loop. So now I'm going to go underneath this hump here, I'm going to push through. That. Okay, I'm gonna get this through here like that. So I'm gonna pull all our excess through like this. You can leave a little bit of excess, that way we don't get lost. Also, if you want to secure this to something in case you're nervous about pulling it through, you can do that too. So now the way you do the stitching is it's quite simple. So we went through this hump here. Now we're not going to go directly to that one. We're going to skip that one. We're going to go across to this one and go through the top like this. Okay? Go through there. Like that. And then after that, we're going to backtrack from this one. we're going to go to this one. Okay, so from here to that one. So you want to make sure you go through underneath the microcord, the white microcord as well, not just the 550. Okay, so I'm pulling that through here. Okay, so now we've got that first kind of X. As you can see, we can loosen your bracelet as you're doing it, so just try to keep everything tight. You can kind of just work it and pinch it a bit as you go. So now same thing, we don't go to this one, the one that's directly across from it, we skip one and go through the top of this one. Okay, so we skipped one, we go over. I'm going to push this through here. That. Right? And then we're going to go back to this one. So through here, through the bottom. That. Okay, so now again, same thing. We don't go directly to this one, we skip one, and we go to the next one. Like that. Through here. And then now again, we're going to go back one. We're going to go through the bottom this time. So that's essentially the pattern. I'm pretty sure if you just, if you don't get it, just kind of rewatch that pattern I just did. It's just skipping one, going over to the next one. It just took me a few minutes to learn it as well. Okay, so that's really all we're going to do. We're going to continue stitching our microcord all the way down our bracelet. And remember, when you finish one, after you do a loop over one, you skip to the next one. Don't go directly to that one. Okay, so I'm going to finish my microcord stitching all the way down my bracelet, and we'll just about be done. Okay, so I'm just about done my stitching. I've come down to the last stitch here, or the last knot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the fid through this last knot here. Pull that through. Make sure it doesn't get wrapped around your buckle. Okay, like that. And lastly, I think to secure it, what I'll do is I'm going to put it through behind here. I'm just going to go follow the blue. You can actually just loosen it because we haven't tied this final knot yet. Okay, like that. There we go. So we can tighten that. So now we have all of our microcord stitching coming through this here. So we can just snip that off and melt it all together. That should hold it secure. We'll snip and singe this last red one. As for the cord up here, if you really want to make it secure, I'd suggest just tucking it maybe under one of these stitches. You can just use some hemostats and pull it through. Or if you're, if your knot is tight enough here, you can just snip and singe the microcord and just melt it against the bracelet here. I might just tuck mine just to be safe. Okay, so I'm going to snip and singe off all the excess, and then we will be finished. Okay, so I'm just about done my stitching. I've come down to the last stitch here, or the last knot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the fid through this last knot here. Pull that through. Make sure it doesn't get wrapped around your buckle. Okay, like that. And lastly, I think to secure it, what I'll do is I'm going to put it through behind here. I'm just going to go follow the blue. You can actually just loosen it because we haven't tied this final knot yet. Okay, like that. There we go. So we can tighten that. So now we have all of our microcord stitching coming through this here, so we can just snip that off and melt it all together. That should hold it secure. We'll snip and singe this last red one. As for the cord up here, if you really want to make it secure, I'd suggest just tucking it maybe under one of these stitches. You can just use some hemostats and pull it through. Or if you're, if you're not as tight enough here, you can just snip and singe the microcord and just melt it against the bracelet here. I might just tuck mine just to be safe. Okay, so I'm going to snip and singe off all the excess, and then we will be finished. Alright, and there we have it, guys. I'm done. So I snipped and singed off all my excess paracord, kind of excess bit at the bottom there, and that piece of paracord there. And for the microcord up top, as you can see, I just kind of tucked it underneath one of the stitches, and then I melted it, and it's very comfortable, like you don't feel it at all. Okay, so that is it. I want to give you guys another last close-up look at this Spider-Man themed stitched Solomon bracelet. I really like doing these themed bracelets too, because it's just really nice and really cool how you can communicate character and a theme through a specific set of colors and kind of like a style of weaving. Alright, so that is everything. I hope you guys understood and everything I did was clear and concise. And if you have any comments or questions, again, as always, please leave them down below. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. And don't forget to connect with me on all my social media platforms. It'll be all linked at the end of the video. And that's about it, guys. If you haven't already, please do like, share, and subscribe. That would really help me out. And that's everything. So I'll see you guys on the next tutorial video. Alright?